What's up, everyone? Today we're going to talk about the different levels of runners. Disclaimer: these groups are not meant to define runners and place them in permanent categories. These are for training purposes. So while you may be labeled a beginner runner or an intermediate or an elite right now, that does not mean you'll forever train in that group. These are meant to be temporary training groups. These temporary groups are based off your current training ability. So there's two different ways to determine the categories: the time you run and the distance per week you typically run. Alright, so the first group, the beginner group. The beginner group, according to my calibration, this is what I consider people that are usually running 25 minutes or slower for 5K. This group may include first year cross country runners, young runners, maybe middle school or elementary age, maybe even some early high school age, maybe some weekend warriors that just don't have a lot of time to train. This also could be some people who just started running a few weeks ago and just are not at that level they know they can reach. Well, this is going to hopefully help you get there. So for the beginner group, it's typically those running 25 minutes or slower for 5K, both men and women, and then those running less than 15 miles a week. The next group, the intermediate group. These could be someone who has no idea what cross country is, they just started, they're really good, got a lot of talent, or it could be someone who's a little more seasoned, but still just doesn't quite have that experience and that training behind them to get them to the elite level. The intermediate group time is what I like to consider between 18 and 25 minutes for boys and 21 to 25 minutes for girls. So if you're in that time frame, from this perspective of what I'm coaching on, that's going to be labeled as intermediate. In terms of weekly mileage volume, those running between 35 to 15 miles a week are typically labeled as intermediate. The last group I'm going to talk about is the elite group. To fit the training criteria for elites, typically the boys are running less than 18, the girls are running less than 21. Anyone in that category is most likely elite, and they're probably typically running more than 35 miles a week. If you're not, and you find that you're in the middle between two different groups, find your happy medium, find what works for you. So now that you understand what training group you most likely belong to, now we can move forward with some training episodes that's going to help you understand where you are, and so now we can move forward and see where we want to go. So I hope this episode gives you a good idea of what training group you belong to, so in the upcoming episodes you know when I'm talking about your group and what you need to do, how you need to do it, and where you want to go as far as time-wise, goals, all that stuff coming up. Now you know where you are, now we need to figure out where you want to go.